Okay, so today we're going to talk about exponents, and we're also going to talk about order of operations. Just to kind of remind you some things that you probably already know, we have a little vocabulary here. If you want to talk about the powers of a number, you're talking about two parts. You have the base. So in this example of this power of 2, we have 2 to the third. 2 is the base and 3 is the exponent, and it just means take 2 and write it 3 times and multiply. Okay, and that's basically all there is to it. And remember that if you have something to the second power, that is squared, and if you have something to the third power, that's cubed, and anything beyond that, like here I have 3 to the fourth, that's just, you just say it to the fourth power. There's not any special name for it. But once again, this is the base and this is the exponent, and the whole thing is the power. Okay, and that's basically all there is to exponents. Okay, so now that we've done that, we need to talk about something else, and that is order of operations. And order of operations, you know, the way it works is when you have something like this, 4 plus 12 minus 8 divided by 2, and you've got it all written out like this, you could, depending on how you choose to simplify it, you could get different results depending on how you simplify it. So how do you know which thing to do first? Because depending on what you do first, you get a different answer. Like if you do the division first, you would get a different answer than if you subtracted first. So how do you know what to do? Well, everybody in the world has agreed, at least everybody that uses the same number system as us, has agreed that we're always going to do it a certain way. And that is using order of operations. Sometimes you'll hear this referred to as Pemdas. And basically the way it works is you do parentheses first, and then you do exponents, and then you do multiplication, and then you do division, and then you do addition, subtraction. Now a couple things I need to say about this. First of all, subtraction. I don't know how to spell. Okay, so first of all, when I say parentheses, it could actually be any type of grouping symbol, not just parentheses. There are other grouping symbols, which I will point those out to you as we get to them. But then we do exponents. Now multiplication and division, even though I wrote multiplication first, these actually have equal power, and we go left to right when we do them. And addition and subtraction have equal power, and we go left to right. In fact, the only reason that we put the M before the D and the A before the S is just because it makes a nice, easy word to remember. Whereas if you did it the other way, it might not. So just keep all that in mind as you do this. So in this example here, the way I would solve this, I would do the division first, and then for the rest of it I would go left to right because addition and subtraction have the same weight. So we could actually finish this. I get 4 plus 12, and then 8 divided by 2 is 4, so I have to subtract 4. And then going left to right, 4 plus 12 minus 4, you end up getting 12, okay? And some people are like, well, I don't need to do this because I'm just going to use my calculator. But the thing is, if you use your calculator and you don't understand order of operations, which thing is supposed to happen first, if you use your calculator, you're probably going to type it in wrong and still get the wrong answer. In fact, even like older students that have been doing this for a few years, a lot of times when I see them make mistakes when they're using calculator, it's that they didn't type it into the calculator correctly. They didn't realize because of the way they typed it in, they had to add parentheses or something like that. So you have to understand order of operations even if you have a calculator. Otherwise, you'll still get the wrong answer. Like in this example, if you type this in and you wanted the 8 to be divided by 2 in a calculator, actually you may or may not need to use parentheses there in the calculator, but if you're using a calculator, you need to know order of operations, okay? It doesn't get you out of having to know that. Okay, memory trick for PEMDAS, how you're going to remember the order. Some people will do please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. One time a kid told me it was please end my day at school, which I also thought that was a good one. So you can do please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, because I don't have an Aunt Sally. My aunt's name is Chris, and she's not that dear. She used to beat me up. She was like 4 years older than me, so she used to beat me up a lot when I was a kid. I mean, not like really bad, but just hit me a lot. So that wasn't very nice. We always stayed at my grandma's house, and she never got in trouble for it. I always got in trouble. So we kind of fought like brothers and sisters, actually, even though she was my aunt. She wasn't that old. And my uncle, he used to beat me up too. He was a really big guy. He used to sit on me. He was 5 years older than me, so he would just like squash me, just totally. So anyhow, but I made it through that. I don't know how I did, but I'm here. So in the next video, we're actually going to do some examples and put all this together. So and I'll probably tell you more traumatic childhood stories about how my older relatives used to beat me up. So I'll talk to you again soon.